Your outside of class photo shoot will be all about reflections in photography. So for this, you will be exploring a lot of different types of reflections, where you can find them and how you can use them to photograph. So there's going to be a lot of different categories and a lot of different ways that you can find reflections. So the first category place to find them would be in puddles. So puddles are just naturally occurring on the ground. So after it rains, or if you, let's say, water plants, wash the car, you'll find puddles in the street, on the sidewalk, in grass, just all over the place. So this is just a matter of finding puddles and photographing the reflections that show up in them. So with the reflections, that should really be the main focal point of your picture, is a reflection. You can include what objects are creating the reflections. You can see the whole thing, you can see parts of them, like in this example, but it's really all about the reflection. In this example, the artist really focused on kind of their composition. So when they were editing later on, they flipped the picture 180 degrees so that the puddle is towards the top. So it looks like the reflection is the actual person standing versus the other way around. But you don't have to include people. You could simply just have reflections of things that are around. So here you have this nice contrast of the bright blue sky and clouds being reflected in the puddle that's within kind of this dirt, grimy patch of land that's really dark and just has kind of this rocky texture to it. Your puddle doesn't have to take up the whole space. It could have its own shape. So the example on the left is using the puddle as kind of a leading line that's going through the entire photograph itself, and then you see the reflection of the trees. You can also think about objects that are within the puddle itself. So the example on the right, you have the reflection of the bike, but then you have these two leaves that have fallen into it. You also have kind of these raindrops that are also altering the water and kind of creating a cool effect. Next category is in bodies of water. Okay, so ponds, lakes, rivers, streams, pools, bodies of water. So with this, once again, you don't have to see the whole water source. It could just be a portion of it. So the example on the left, you just know that it's a body of water of some sort, and you have the reflection of the branch going kind of across the image, and then you see the branch itself touching the top of the water. On the right, you have this little pond that the woman is touching, and you see her reflection in there. So with your reflections, you can start to tell a story if you want. It doesn't just have to be a reflection for the sake of reflections. If you want to tell a story, utilize models and people within, you definitely can. Composition still really, really important. So this is a great shot showing kind of worm's eye view. So with this, you can totally see that the guy just plunged his face into the water, and you have that splash coming up as he lifted his head back up, and you have that great reflection in the water. And here's more of kind of a traditional landscape photo where you have the trees in the background being reflected in the little pond. So you can definitely play and explore. Go take a walk, go explore the outside, find some streams, ponds, lakes, rivers, whatever you can find, you can definitely utilize. Our next category is in metal. So metal has a shiny surface to it. It's mirror-like. So you can definitely use that to find reflections. Silverware is a really great source of metal for reflections. Spoons have that nice curvature to it, so your reflection will kind of mimic that. So here we have just a striped fabric, maybe a tablecloth with a spoon sitting on top. You can see that those stripes start to curve in the reflection as it goes along the surface of the spoon. Here we have a spoon that was taken outside, so you can see the reflection of nature within the spoon, and because of that curve, it distorts your image, so giving you kind of this wonky, surrealist effect. Toasters can be nice and shiny, so you can use those. Instruments, so the tuba on the right has this nice reflection of the city and the buildings. It's another example of the toaster, the reflection. And once again, you can start to tell a story. So here there's a woman sitting with her hand on her head. You know, she's not, super happy or anything like that. So you start to wonder what's going on in her life, what's she looking off into the distance about, what's she thinking. So you can definitely start to play into that. Next up, we have in mirrors. So, you go into any bathroom and you will find mirrors everywhere. But you can take mirrors outside. You can take mirrors to other locations and photograph the reflections. So here, these circular mirrors were brought out and laid on the ground. So then you had this reflection of what was directly above, so the sky and the tops of the trees. Okay. Composition with these is very symmetrical based on how it was shot. Now on the left, mirror brought into the field facing the camera, so you see the reflection of all the flowers, and it's kind of covering up the model's face. So it kind of creates this portal effect as well. Since the mirror itself doesn't have a frame on it, it just looks like it's this abyss, this section that's just been cut out. On the right, you have kind of one of those doorway mirrors laying horizontally across the individual's back or over their lap. So you see the reflection of their legs and nothing of their body. You can also find mirrors in places. So you have those kind of curved security mirrors that a lot of times you'll find in maybe convenience stores. So you can kind of take images of that. Handheld mirrors, little vanities. What happens if you have broken mirrors? I do have a whole stash of broken mirrors here in the art department that you are more than welcome to borrow. So if you want to utilize that, you can let me know next class. What happens if you write on the mirror? Okay, how does that play out with the reflection that might be in it? With the mirrors, please do not do this. With any of your reflection pictures, please don't do this. This will make my art soul very, very sad. Please don't do this. Please, please, please don't do this. Okay, next up, we have in shiny surfaces. So this could be, glass tops on tables. It could be, shiny material, tin foil, sometimes granite or other slabs might have a shiny quality to it where you can see that reflection. So here we have this little girl peeking over the counter, so you see her reflection. Here we have a patio table, so the glass is showing the reflection of the trees that are outside of the balcony. Okay. Another shiny tabletop. Okay. Pay attention to your backgrounds. So with all of your pictures, composition is still key. Pay attention to your backgrounds, what's going around, because you don't want to distract from what your focal point is, which is your subject, the reflection. In this one, you have the reflection of the man in the picture frame, so the glass that's on in front of the picture. Okay, it's very minimal, but it's there. And then we have in windows. So windows are another great way to have reflections. With this, you kind of have to pay attention to what the lighting situation is. If it is dark outside, you will see your reflection inside. If it's dark inside, you'll see your reflection when you're outside. So you kind of have to look and see how that all works out. But with windows, you do still see what's on the other side to an extent. So the example on the right, you have the girl holding the violin inside the house, okay? But you have the reflection of kind of maybe this other building outside, a little bit of a field and trees reflected. So both things are important. Okay. The image on the right, kind of that same idea. You have the old woman on the inside of the building, and then you have the reflection of, you know, the trees and flora and fauna that's outside that she's gazing at. Frosted mirrors, like on the left, you don't really see much of anything on the inside. So this is kind of a nice way to kind of block that off. But here we're working not only with shadows, so the shadow of the individual, but also you have the reflection of the palm trees and other plants behind her. So for the assignment, you're going to take reflection photographs from 3 different categories. So you have puddles, bodies of water, metal, mirrors, shiny surfaces, and windows. So you will pick 3 different categories. Doesn't matter which ones, totally up to you. You pick 3. And then you're going to take 10 photos per category for a total of 30 photos. Okay? As always, I encourage you to take more and more and more pictures. The more you have, the more options you have later. So don't just limit yourself to, oh, I did my 30, I'm done. Keep taking pictures, okay? Because maybe that last shot you take is your best one, and you wouldn't know if you just stopped. So 10 pictures per category, 3 different categories, total of 30 photos. Don't forget everything you have learned about composition, the rule of thirds, timing, visual organization, lighting, all the things. Everything we've learned thus far, still really crucial. Use those to make as strong an image as possible. Okay. So you will be checking your cameras out today. You will be able to take them home and shoot as much as you want. Your pictures will be due next week. So you'll have a full weekend plus a few days to take your pictures. And it's just the initial pictures, no editing. It's just getting everything shot. So today you're going to grab your digital camera. You're going to grab your memory card. Okay. Check your battery. Okay. Some of the cameras might not have batteries in them if they were being charged, so check that you have a battery. If you do not have one, make sure you grab a battery. Okay. If you do have one, look and see how charged it is. If it is half or less, you'll bring it up and then you'll get a new battery. So that way you don't have to worry about your camera dying on you halfway through a photo shoot.